Dealing with thoughts and emotions is something that we all experience to a certain degree, and your human design will play a role in how and what kinds of thoughts and emotions that you experience. But in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you an exercise that literally transformed the way that I think about and deal with my thoughts and emotions. And this really kind of started my path down embodiment and building presence in my body and trusting my body. So this was really one of the first tools that I ever learned in order to create a better relationship with my thoughts and emotions. And this was before I even knew about human design or gene keys or anything like that. So if you are new here, my name is Ebony. On this channel, we learn about human design and gene keys in order to reclaim our power, prioritize our pleasure, and create the freedom-filled life that we desire. If you enjoy this content and you want more of it, my anchoring and refilling workshop is going to go much more in depth about this and building presence in your body, working through your emotions, using your body. It's only $37. So if you are interested in that work, in embodiment work, in learning to trust your body, in learning to build presence in your body, then I will leave the link for that in the description box. But for now, let's go ahead and get into the video. So your thoughts are the realm of the crown center. The crown center in human design is the center that's at the very top of your body graph. So it can be either open, undefined, or defined. So if you have an open or undefined crown center, then that means you're picking up on the thoughts and ideas of other people, right? Your inspiration, the thoughts that are coming in and out of your head, are from others, right? You're not generating them in your mind, you're picking them up. You're literally reading the minds of other people, right? Now, if you have a defined crown center, then it's kind of the opposite. Those thoughts in your head are actually coming internally, right? It's your senses are picking things up and your brain is formulating thoughts based on what you're experiencing. They are coming from you, right? They're not who you are, but they are coming from you, right? From the information that your body is taking in through your five senses, right? So I love to give this example. It's the difference between a freeway and a parking lot, right? If you have an undefined crown center, your thoughts are like a freeway. Cars are coming in, they're going out, right? And there's always this kind of movement. Now, if you have a defined crown center, it's more of a parking lot. The thoughts are there, and they're just kind of, perking up every now and then. But they're not coming in and out of your head. They're all there. They're coming from the parking lot. They're coming from the cars. They're coming, from the stores that are in the parking lot, right? They're coming from within you already. So, moving on to emotions, the emotions are governed by the solar plexus. The solar plexus is on the, the right side of the body graph, and it's the triangle that's facing to the left, right? And it can also be open, undefined, or defined. If you have an open or undefined solar plexus, that means that your emotional experiences are most likely, most of the time, are caused by something that is outside of you, right? It is an experience that is causing you to feel an emotion, right? So if you remove yourself from the situation, then the emotion itself should dissolve or dissipate. It could also be that you are picking up on someone else's emotional experience. So if you are in a room and someone walks into the room and they're feeling sad, you're going to pick up on their sadness. That's not you feeling sad. That's you picking up on their sadness, right? Now, if you have a defined solar plexus, that means your emotional experiences are internal. You have a set emotional wave. Your body, again, is creating an emotional experience based on where you are in your emotional wave, but it can also be based on the information that it's taking in from your environment, right? So those emotions are internal for you. They're not someone else's, and they're not coming in, response to a situation. It could be that though. I feel like whether you're defined or undefined, emotions can be caused by something outside of you. But if we're talking, generally, your emotions are going to be an experience that is caused for you internally if your solar plexus is defined. So what does this all mean, and what is the exercise that I want to give you so that you can start to create a better relationship with your thoughts and with your emotions? The way, well, not the way, whether you are defined or undefined in your crown center and in your solar plexus center is going to determine what kind of relationship that you're going to be able to create with your thoughts and with your emotions. So if you have an undefined crown, right, and if you have an undefined solar plexus, the relationship that you want to create is one of detachment. You don't want to try to hold on to every single thought. You don't want to try to hold on to every single emotion because they are not yours. So what you want to do is have this kind of air of allowance. Ideas can come in and out. Emotions can come in and out. When there is something that is of merit, that is of value to you, you can hold on to that, you can capture it. I personally would recommend writing it down because honestly, with me, for ideas or thoughts, if it's something I want to remember, I need to write it down because just as quickly as it can come in, it can go out, right? If there is an emotional experience that you want to hold on to, again, I would recommend writing it down because the way that you're designed, if you are open or undefined in these centers, it's meant to be a highway. It's meant to flow in and out. So if it's something you want to capture, if it's something that you really want to hold on to, an idea, an emotional experience, a thought, write it down. But your general relationship with your thoughts and emotions, if you are undefined or open in these areas, is one of surrender, allowance, and detachment. Now, if you are defined in your crown or in your solar plexus, the relationship that you want to have with your experiences in these areas is one of understanding. You do not want to feel shame or feel guilt for what your thoughts are or for what your emotions are because you are feeling them for a reason. This emotional experience, this thought loop, or it doesn't have to be a thought loop, but thought in general, is coming up for you for a reason. It needs to be addressed. So your relationship with them needs to be one of understanding, of compassion, and of nurturing. So how do we do this? How do we create these different relationships with our thoughts and our emotions? The tool that I love, I still use to this day, is observation versus identification. So often, the reason why we get caught up in our head, right, or we get caught up in our emotions and we can't figure out how to get out of it, we can't figure out how to work through it, is because we are identifying with it. We're identifying with the emotion. We're identifying with the thought when we should simply be observing it. So instead of saying, I am sad, right, I am happy, I am depressed, instead we're saying, I am experiencing sadness, I'm experiencing happiness, I'm experiencing depression. Because you are not your emotions, right? Instead of thinking, I'm bad, right? Or I'm not where I should be. Instead of identifying with that thought, observing it. I'm having a thought of not being good enough, or I'm having a thought of not moving quick enough. You are not your thought. You are not that thought. You are simply observing that thought. You are simply observing that emotion. It's simply something that is existing in your experience, whether you're defined or undefined. It's simply an aspect that you are experiencing in this moment, but it is not who you are. But when you are so identified with it, when you are so in the bubble with it, when you're in the thought, when you're in the emotion, you lose the ability to, number one, extract the wisdom from it, and number two, to be able to healthily work through it because you're inside of it. However, when you observe it, when you make the choice to observe it rather than identify with it, you bring yourself out of it. You're no longer that thing. It's something that you're experiencing. It's something that you can look at. It's something that you can turn over. It's something that you can question. And when you're able to do that, you're able to extract the wisdom. You're able to integrate it into your experience without having it overwhelm you. This, when I first learned it 3 years ago, was game changing. And I personally think using it in conjunction with human design, with, you know, being defined or undefined in the crown and the solar plexus, I think it adds a little something, just adds a little sprinkle, a little something extra, you know? So I would love to hear, first of all, how, if you've used this tool before, how it works for you, but also, are you defined or undefined in your crown and your solar plexus? And what is the relationship that you have created with your thoughts and your emotions? And I would absolutely love it if you tried out this technique, right? This technique of observing your thoughts and emotions rather than identifying with them. How does that help you create a better, more healthy relationship with your thoughts and emotions? I would love to hear that in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this content, I definitely recommend checking out my anchoring and refueling workshop. I go much deeper into emotions in that workshop, so if that's something that you're interested in, definitely highly recommend that. And I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.